Welcome back to centralcoastradio.com. Well, now I want to chat about a brand new film that is in Australian cinemas right now. It is called Sanctuary, and it's the latest film from director Zachary Wigan. Now, this film is a two-hander all the way. Basically, it tells the story of a young rich man who has inherited his father's inheritance, which includes a lot of money and also a hotel chain. Now, his name is Hal. He's played by Christopher Abbott, and he's in the middle of a session in his apartment with a dominatrix named Rebecca, played by Margaret Qualley, and things go off script completely. Hal scripts these sessions with his dominatrix, right down to what she says at any given time and what exactly is to happen at that time. But on this particular day, Rebecca goes off script. She suddenly becomes angry when Hal ends things with her, and she threatens blackmail and a whole range of different things, which turns the film completely on its head. Now, that's pretty much how I can sum up this movie. There is a twist in there as well, but as a film, it is very, very light on for story. This is a film that feels like it's almost a one-act play. If it was a theatre show, I doubt that it would even get to a second act, and you really notice that when you're watching this film, and it's going to be one of my criticisms of the film in a moment. There are things that I loved about this film. I thought the performances of Christopher Abbott and Margaret Qualley were absolutely sensational, in fact, Margaret Qualley is probably in award-winning form with her performance in this film. She is absolutely amazing. The different things that her character goes through, and some of them are quite creepy. At times it feels like her character, Rebecca, is becoming possessed by other characters. It really is one of those performances where I reckon a lot of actresses would have read this and said, I want to do this. And then there would have been others that read it and went, I can't do this. This is like too full on. There's no way I can deliver that kind of performance. But Margaret Qualley does it absolutely perfectly with her performance in this film. And likewise, Christopher Abbott. I talked there about Margaret's performance and how she is confronting and switches through different things. Christopher Abbott is, on the other hand, he has to play a character who, for most of it, is meek and mild and lost and confused and can't work out what's happening or can't work out what's happening with his life. There are moments where he turns to true anger to try and get himself out of this situation, but for a majority of the time he's playing a character who is confused, which anyone who acts will tell you is quite a difficult thing to do with a performance, especially when you're carrying it for the full 90 minutes like this film does. Now, this is where I think this film kind of falls apart. There's a twist in this film, and I like the twist, but I feel that with that twist, there should have been more throughout this film. I'm being really, really careful how I say this, because A, I don't want to give away the twist, and B, it's a hard film to criticize, because like I said, the actors do such a great job, but I kind of feel that they've been let down by the writer and the director, in the sense that this feels like a film that needed more. There needed to be maybe more tension, but I really felt that this film would have worked if it had kind of gone into that realm, the erotic thriller kind of realm that films like Disclosure and stuff went into during the 1990s, because one of the things I felt with this film, especially with the twist at the end, was there wasn't a lot of chemistry between these characters. And with what happens with the twist, I would have expected that there would have been more chemistry between these characters. And that's not to say that the screenplay doesn't work. I just feel that it needed something a little bit more. It just needed something more. You kind of walk away from this film feeling a little bit disappointed because you feel like it's never reached its full potential. I guess that's the right way to put it. It just didn't ever reach its full potential. You have these two actors who are doing an absolutely amazing job, but it feels like they're kind of let down by the screenplay and the director. And it might be because it's a first-time feature director. Because I think other directors may have read this screenplay and said, you know what, it needs something else. This is one of those films where, even with its twist, it's not a memorable film. You're going to walk away from this film and forget about it in a couple of weeks' time. It needs that one thing to make it memorable, and it's just not there. And I think part of that is the chemistry between the actors with the relationship that is being explored in this film. So, yeah, like, a lot of the scenes between the two actually feel like the scenes between Catherine and Sebastian in Cruel Intentions. But with that film, there was chemistry between the two characters that's just not there. That's just not here with Sanctuary. So, look, if you want to see a good double-hander, then definitely go along and check out Sanctuary. Just don't expect it to be a completely memorable film, because probably the only thing memorable from this film is Margaret Qualley's performance, because the story just lacks that certain something that would make this a special film. So, I'm going to give Sanctuary 2 out of 5. It could have been so much better with another rewrite, I reckon, but 2 out of 5 for Sanctuary.